Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. And we are honored to have my good buddy Larry Goins join us from the Goins Group on this morning. Good morning, Larry.
What's up? How you been?
I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. I was going to watch you on Facebook, but I'm on it.
Good times, good times. Well, Larry, why don't you take a second and share with those out there that don't know who the man, the myth, Larry Legend is out there. How's that sound?
That sounds good. That sounds good. I'm Larry Goins from Lake Wylie, South Carolina. I've been investing over 30 years. I bought my very first house in 1986, right before many of you were born. And I've done over 1,000 deals. I still wholesale. I do seller financing. I've done wholesaling, seller financing, lease options, subject to short sales. I'm a private money, hard money lender. I've done residential, commercial, multifamily, triple net lease properties. I've owned Dollar Generals and Shoney's restaurants and mobile home parks and all kind of stuff. But I really stick to what I love. That's wholesaling and seller financing. Those are the two things I love. I've done deals in 12 different states, right from my office in Lake Wylie, South Carolina.
Lake Wylie. So let's talk a little about it. But you do it in a variety of states, but you love the Carolinas as well. That's kind of your home bread and butter area, right?
Right. I love the Carolinas. I do the majority of my business here, all over North and South Carolina. I've written a couple of books about wholesaling called Real Estate Day Trading, getting started in real estate day trading. And I also buy a lot of HUD houses, HUD homes half off. We bought HUD houses as low as 20% of the list price. And most of our deals are in the Carolinas.
Cool. So let's talk a little about owner financing, because a lot of people out there, this is the Note Closer Show, so let's focus on notes, I guess you'd say. A lot of people, why don't you can you give some advice to those that are looking to get owner financing? Any marketing tips to attract buyers, or tips for people out there when they're looking at maybe, they're having a difficult time selling their house conventionally? What are some tips to help them sell with owner financing?
Well, that's a really, really good point. I have a model I call Filthy Riches. And it's all about buying really cheap, low price band properties, and then you sell them for about 3 to 6 times what you paid for them with owner financing. And we're getting returns I've had infinite returns, but deals I keep my money in, I've had returns as high as 788% return, where the buyer put down almost all I had in the property, right? So, but I love doing this. You mentioned about some tips on maybe finding buyers. Man, finding buyers is the easiest thing there is. That's the easiest part of it, because think about this. They see an ad out that says, why rent when you can own, payments less than rent, no bank qualifying needed, looking for a deserving family with a reasonable down payment, right? I mean, my gosh, I just sold a house. We just sold one yesterday that we picked up for, check this out, Scott, you're going to love this. I bought this house, no money down. The seller financed 100% at 5% interest, no money down, 20-year financing, no prepayment penalty, and non-recourse financing. And he financed $82,000. So I bought the house for $82,000, no money down, and I sold it for $99,900, and I got $18,000 down.
So you basically wrapped your mortgage, the owner finance mortgage, with another mortgage, or you just sold it traditional?
Actually, I just sold it and let them assume my loan. Oh, I also got 90 days till the first payment.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, now that's not the typical deal. That's kind of combining wholesaling and seller financing. I negotiated seller financing with my seller, and then I sold it to a buyer, and I collected the down payment. Now, a lot of times I just seller finance deals. I'll buy it and pay cash, and then I will seller finance it and be the lender myself. But this particular deal, I mean, we do a lot of marketing, and we make the phone ring. We probably get 300 calls a week from motivated sellers. And if I can't meet their price, I always ask for terms, right?
right? It's either or. That way you got a winning aspect of things. If because a lot of people get so fixated on price, they're willing to to give you amazing terms,
Right.
Below market stuff.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I've negotiated 3 of those seller finance deals this month. Well, last month.
Because it is November's a little early there.
Exactly. It's a little early, but the day's not over.
Yeah, exactly. We still got 2.5 weeks here in the month. So that's one of the things. Are you posting on Facebook to get the phone, or are you just doing it via mailers, or are you doing it via like a classified ad in the paper? Where are you finding a lot of your buyers?
Majority of it is direct mail. We mail out about 25,000 pieces a month, and we break that up into 4 weekly mailings, which is 6,000 to 7,000 a week. And then the phone rings in our office, and the leads go automatically into Podio, and then we have lead managers that will process that lead. And I got to tell you, Scott, man, I'm a small team. It's not like I have 5 acquisition people, 5 salespeople. I've got 1 lead manager, 1 closing manager, and 1 sales guy. And I am the acquisition guy. I have right now 28 deals under contract in our pipeline, and I am the acquisition manager on all 28 of them.
Well, that's why you know exactly the ins and outs of that. What's going on, how to best structure it. So
exactly, and I do them all over the phone. All over the phone.
You're not out driving, looking at all these properties?
Forget it, man. Forget about it.
So you're dropping the postcards out. These are going to lower priced homes, or where you kind of mail the letters out? You've got zip codes that you're dropping postcards out to, or what?
Yeah, we mail in about 7 different counties in North and South Carolina, and like I'm in the Charlotte MSA. I want to get out 2 or 3 counties out, right? So I'm not right in the thick of all the other investors. I mean, it's very rare somebody tells me I get these postcards all the time, right? Because I'm mailing out to small town USA outside of the MSA, and I also want to keep the values. I only mail out to people where the values are 100,000 or less.
Okay, that's smart. There you go. That's some good nuggets out there for those that are looking for some information. And then they're calling you, and you're marketing out that house to your buyers, right? You're building a buyers list out there. Is that correct?
We're always building a buyers list. We've got a list of about 10 or 15 things that we do to market every single property, right? I mean, we're going to put it on Facebook. We're a member of all the Facebook groups in the Carolinas that have anything to do with real estate. We put it on Facebook Marketplace, on the buy sell market groups on Facebook. We put it on Connected Investor. We put it on My Deals, My House Deals. We put it on Craigslist. We put them on our website. We send out emails and text messages to our buyers. So we're always building our buyers list.
That's smart there. You're blitzkrieging in different ways to market things, going, online, Facebook. I think a lot of people just don't realize that there's so many different Facebook groups out there in different areas of the country. There's so many real estate investment clubs. I mean, here in Texas, you look at just Houston alone, there's a lot of groups there. Then you jump on LinkedIn or other things like you mentioned out there. There's so many ways to really get the marketing out to an audience, and then collecting their information. So you do something smart, like you said, where you can send them a text message direct to their phone with the details of it, because this is the new TV of the decade, right? The cell phone, for the most part.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now, why don't you share? You got started when you were 2, obviously. Or 10. You've bought in multiple states, but you like the Carolinas. You like north south. North Carolina is a shorter foreclosure state. South Carolina is a little bit longer foreclosure state. Are you running into issues when your owner finance notes where you're ever having to foreclose or drag it out? Or are you usually doing like cash for keys to speed up the situation?
I got to tell you, man, I've been doing this for years and years and years. It's probably been 6 or 7 years since I've had to foreclose. I try to keep the kind of relationship with my borrowers where they know up front, we established this. Hey, if you don't pay, you can't stay. Come on. It's that simple, right? So I'll try to work with them. I've done loan modifications. I've helped them sell their houses before. And I mean, I even had somebody a while back, a couple of years back, that they put $10,000 down. And they eventually, after about 2 years, they had to move out. I did a loan modification. They failed out of that. And then they finally just said, look, Larry, we're going to have to leave. But they brought me my next buyer. I was so good to them. They helped me sell the house to the next buyer.
That's pretty awesome when you can do that.
Exactly.
That's not always the case, but it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got some people out there. William B. Casey saying outstanding. That was good stuff. And then Aaron Murgis says, hey, Larry, good morning.
Aaron, what's up, buddy? He's been to my office.
He's in your office?
He's been to my office. He's been to my office. He's been to your office. Okay. He's in Texas. He's in your neck of the woods, out in DFW area.
There you go. DFW there. Awesome. Good stuff there. So let's talk a little bit, because a lot of people out there this year, they want to do something big in the next year. They want to leave their job. They want to get started. What's the best bit of advice that you can give somebody out there who's looking to get started?
Man, you know, it's not really much different than you or anybody else out there is going to tell people. I mean, number one, you got to get educated. Number two, you got to take action, right? Education without action is irrelevant, right? You've got to take action, right? Just like I had a group of students come to my office, some of my high-level students come to my office last week, and they thought they were going to come here for me to train them, stand in front of them and write on the whiteboard all day. No, they got their computers out and they got to work, right? They got busy. So when they got home, their phone starts ringing off the hook, just like mine does, right?
That's smart. Taking action is the most important thing. I totally agree with that. I know you've got a bookshelf, not the one behind you there, but you got a bookshelf over there with a bunch of material, a bunch of boot camp books, stuff like that. Oh, yeah, there you go. I've got one in my office as well too. Yep, there you go. Never stop learning. Out there. But that's unfortunate. Too many people go to a workshop and they get back on the shelf and they never take action. And it's just, I know that frustrates you like it frustrates me, you know?
It does. It used to really, really bother me, but now, I mean, it used to bother me and I wanted to get out of educating people. But then I started realizing all the people that I really am helping. I mean, I want you to check this out. This is my I'm going to show you my training room out here for a second. This is my training room. And look, it's lined with pictures of testimonials all the way around, right? All the way around the room is lined with testimonials of students who have gone before our current students, right? And they've gone out there and done deals and made money. And now we put them up on the wall of fame. And that's just a small percentage. And I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those students.
Very nice. That's always a very nice visual there for you. Keeps you motivated when you're not focusing on those that are doing things, those that versus aren't. That's just, that's one of the great things.
Exactly. It's kind of like the people who, I mean, you know, Scott, you get this. People will email you and say, why don't you just give me your course and I'll split my first deal with you, right?
Yeah.
Well, the people who get it for free, it has no value to them, so they do nothing with it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's definitely the truth out there. Where do you see the market going here in the near future? Are you seeing slowing down in your markets as far as values or days on market, or you think we're gonna have a big price correction in different parts of the country?
Well, I think we're already starting to see some slowdown. Even where you are, you're starting to see the high-priced properties stay on the market longer periods of time. That's already happening, right? I don't think there's going to be a crash like there was in 7, 8, 9. There's not going to be that kind of crash, right? Because the lending is not crazy the way it was back then, right?
I don't know, dude.
You think so?
I think, dude, the 100% financing is back on subprimes, or as they call it, the non-prime now. All right. I had somebody call me Friday night who was like, oh yeah, in bankruptcy, we'll do foreclosure bailouts, 100% financing with a 480 FICO.
Well, see, you're in that market a lot better than I am. So you would know. So maybe there is that coming. I hope it's at least a couple more years until it hits. But check this out, Scott. I'm a firm believer in buying value. I don't care if the market is here or it's here. If it's here, I'm buying here. If it's here, I'm buying here, right? So it doesn't matter. Plus, the second part of that is I'm buying in the low price band, right? It's not unusual for me to buy, like I'll buy a house for $5,000, right? I'll buy a house for 10,000, for 20, for 30. Most of my houses I'm selling for 15, for 29.9, for 39.9, 49.9. Those price values aren't affected by the market, right? A $30,000 house is always going to be a $30,000 house. It's just some of them I buy for 10, right?
Mm-hmm. But that's a beautiful thing, especially in those price points too. It's easier for somebody to cash out of, or they'll stick around and ride it through the downturn, where the most of the loss, volatility happens in the higher valued areas, or the crazy areas where everybody's fighting and slicing their grandmother's throat to buy a house.
Yeah, it's the median price and above, right? I don't even get there. I stay under 100,000. Most of the properties I'm selling, if I'm wholesaling a property, most of the time I'm wholesaling it for 15, 29, 39, 49, 59, something like that. And if I'm seller financing it, I'm buying it for 10 and I'm seller financing it for 29.9 or 39.9, or I'm buying it for 30 and I'm seller financing it for 69.9 or 79.9.
Right. But are you still doing a little bit where you're bringing in IRA investors to help cash out your profits and still staying involved, where you're arbitraging your funds, giving them a good return on investment, or no?
I do that a little, not much. I only do it with my kids' ESA and my HSA, because those are still kind of small accounts and we're building them up right now. So I do that only on those small accounts. But we have ESAs, HSAs. I've got a Roth. My wife has a Roth. I have a solo 401k or safe harbor 401k. And plus we have our LLCs that we do business in. So my goal is to eventually, within 5 years, I want to be doing all my business in a self-directed type of account, all of my business within 5 years.
Yeah, that's a really good goal. And as you grow those accounts, you'll be able to do more and more and more and stuff like that, and be able then to do bigger things. But you're still that's still not stopping you from taking the opportunity now to put those accounts to work. And I think a lot of people, they like to start an account, but they don't focus on putting those accounts to work, whether it's a small account or a big account. Right. There's multiple ways to put that money to work, right? Exactly.
I mean, you can do all different kinds of transactions. You can do like the transaction I mentioned earlier, where I bought it for 82, no money down, and I sold it for 99.9. I could have put my kids' ESA or HSA in that deal, and with 500 or $1,000, and then wrapped it and collected a payment. But I elected just to make 18 grand and cash out, right? So, and I did a deal in my kids' ESA just last month where I made $10,000. So, and with the ESA, it's use it or lose it. You got to use it that year. It's not like an HSA where you can carry it over and get refunded or get reimbursed for medical expenses 5 years later. It's not that way with an ESA. So I wanted to go ahead and turn a deal and get the money out.
And then you put the money back in, and it's good for another year then at that point, correct?
Exactly.
That's awesome out there. Good stuff. Now, on the ones that you're not using your accounts there, are you using other people's money to help you take some deals down as well?
No, actually what we're doing is we're wholesaling properties and then taking some of those funds, and it's like sell one, keep one, sell one, keep one, sell one, keep one, right? So, or sell two, keep one, or sell three and keep one, or whatever. Plus, we do a lot of hard money lending ourselves. So we're not really using a lot of private investors' money. I probably should, but we're not really doing that. We've been doing lending long enough now. We used to broker loans. We used to use other people's money, and we would make hard money loans, and we would get the points and they would get the interest. But fortunately, we've got to the position where we just loan out our own money.
Very nice out there. That's very nice. That's where everybody wants to get to, be the bank.
There you go. Exactly.
Exactly. Out there. Where do you see opportunity as people come to the end of the year? Does your business pick up the end of the year, first quarter, as people are moving or looking to change things any, Larry, or does it slow down a little bit in the holidays?
Well, a lot of people are focused on the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. There's not near as many people that are wanting to move. So I would suggest keep your marketing up, but don't market to owner-occupied buyers. Market to the vacant property owners, code violation, foreclosure, whatever, as long as they're not owner-occupant, because the owner-occupant people, they don't want to move during the holidays, right? And even banks, a lot of banks will even let people slide a little bit until January, right? So get past the holidays, and then they'll foreclose on them.
We'll let you stay through the New Year's, but January 2nd, we're getting
You're out of here. You're out of here, right?
You know, pay, you know, stay.
Exactly.
Ben Frederick says, I do this. What was that?
No, I was just going to say, like, I had a guy on the phone yesterday, and he said, "Can I get my money before Christmas?" So, you know, people are motivated this time of year, right? They want to get their money right away.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth. When I was in the mortgage business, realtors would be, if you had to get delayed before, you know, a day or two delayed to close, and all the realtors would be coming out of their shoes and things like that. I need my money so I can go pay my Christmas gifts.
Exactly.
Ben Frederick says on here, says, I do the same strategy as Larry, and it works tremendously. # be the bank, which is good.
Awesome. I love it.
So for those investors out there, people that are in higher end of markets, you know, let's say above tradition, you know, they're in the higher price aspect of things. Any advice? I mean, you talked about going out a couple counties and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are scared initially about investing outside their backyard, and we tell them all the time, like, listen, it's not that hard. You know, get a realtor, get someone to go drive by. What are some tips for overcoming those fears of investing outside their backyard that you'd like to pass on?
Well, you know what, Scott? There's so many tools that people can use right now. So many tools that they can use. You don't have to worry about going outside your own market. I've got many students. Some of my most successful students live on the West Coast where the prices look like phone numbers, right? And they invest in the Midwest or in the Southeast or in the Northeast, and they're buying the lower price stuff. And number one, the lower price stuff is not as intimidating, right? And number two, you can get anything you want on the internet, right? Google knows everything, right? All you got to do is ask Google, and Google knows everything. I got to tell you, man, I've got this thing down to a science. Scott, you're going to love this. All right. When I get somebody on the phone, if I'm negotiating a deal, right? Like right now it's 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 your time, right? So I get somebody on the phone and they agree to accept my offer. Let's say it's $15,000. And I don't care if the house is in Shelby, North Carolina, but they live in Dubuque, Iowa. It doesn't make any difference. I'm going to tell them, hey, you live in Dubuque, Iowa, right? I've got somebody that's going to be in your area in a couple hours. Do you mind if I have them swing by and get the paperwork started so I can get you your money before Christmas? What's your home address, right? And I've got a service, a mobile notary service. Now, it doesn't have to be a notary, but I've got a mobile notary service that has a network of notaries all around the country. They can be at any house, anywhere in the United States within 2 hours. So I'll set an appointment of, say, 1 o'clock this afternoon, and it gets better, Scott. I have a special number, a marketing number programmed into my phone, right? It's for the mobile notary to use. And I give specific instructions. If you don't get the contract signed for any reason, you call me while you're still at the house, while you're still in front of the seller. My phone rings, it pops up and says mobile notary, and I know to answer it, and I might have to reclose them or answer some questions over the phone so they can get the signature.
Nice. That's very important. I love the mobile notary aspect of things. I think it's a huge win versus, because you put it, getting the paperwork started on your terms, not on somebody else's term when I'll get to it tonight or I'll get to it this Friday. it speeds up the closing time in your transactions. We use that with our distressed note business. We got a borrower, we're talking on the phone, trying to get modified or a trial payment plan. We're sending out a mobile notary immediately to get them to fill out that paperwork and sign it back into us. And even a lot of times collect the first check out there to get them started on things like that. So then we'll mail that into the servicer but we're collecting certified funds, getting things signed, because otherwise people are just going to sit there and be lazy and not take action, right?
Exactly. But not only that, the other thing that happens is they end up talking to their parents or children or niece or nephew or Uncle Bob, who is an attorney, and they end up talking them out of it.
Yeah, they start getting advice instead of seeking counsel, and advice is like an asshole. Everybody's got one.
Right.
What what are some goals that you've got set for 2019, Rick? Because I know you like to set goals just like everybody else out there. You got some goals for the new year?
Yeah, I want to expand my team and bring in a select few people to help me with the day-to-day as far as acquisitions. I love getting on the phone. I love negotiating deals. Like for my partners, I have a partner program, and for my partners, I record all of my calls, and then the really good calls I put in a Dropbox folder so they can listen to them and they can hear me on the phone negotiating deals, right? So, but I want to get to the point where I bring in a couple of other people and have them acquiring deals as well. I mean, yeah, we got 28 deals and I did every single one of them, but there's only so many hours in the day. And, I want to take a little bit of time off and do some other stuff and travel a little bit more, but I love real estate. I love it. I love being right in the thick of things. But actually, I'm not traveling much anymore, Scott. I know I know we've talked about this a little bit. I'm speaking at Metrolina RIA in Charlotte, North Carolina, this Thursday in 2 days, and it was the very first speaking gig I ever had back in 2003, I believe, and it was because I was the president, right, back then. And so it was my first speaking gig. And it's going to be my last speaking gig at a RIA group. I will still do a few conventions and expos and things like that, and go to some friends events and stuff like that. But as far as RIA groups, it's over. I'm done. This Thursday is my last one.
That's awesome, man. That is so awesome, because I know you and I have both been road warriors and looking to get off the road to be more focused on what we want to accomplish. Yeah, that's good stuff. Congratulations, man. Glad to hear it. Now, you also have a podcast too that you do on a pretty regular basis. Let's talk about the podcast, man, as well.
Yeah, man. I actually have two podcasts I do. The first one is called Brain Pick a Pro, right? Brain Pick a Pro, and it's a podcast where I interview other people just like yourself, right? I have a different person on every single week. And so it's really, really good. You get a diverse audience. You get a diverse set of topics. But the whole premise of that one is to interview other people. And then I have another show. It's called Brag. Be Rich and Generous is what Brag stands for. And Candace and I are on it every single week. And we talk about, we have a deal of the week. I mean, we're doing enough deals. We got a deal of the week, right? So we got a deal of the week. We have show sponsor winners, and we give away courses and do stuff like that, and have a topic of the week. And then we also talk about how people can go out and be generous and help others, because our goal is to really teach people how to invest in real estate and then go out and be generous, brag, be rich and generous, and help others.
That's good stuff. Nothing more. I mean, it's important to be doing that year round. I know a lot of people love doing something this time of year and things like that, which is great. But, if we did it every year, every month, every week out there, you'd be much more generous. But you also, I think it adds something when you have a cause behind what you're doing. Everybody can donate a little bit of extra money or extra toys this time of year. But if you're doing something on a regular basis, it adds just so much more meaning to what we do as entrepreneurs and real estate investors, right, Larry?
You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
What's the best way for people to get a hold of you, Larry? Find out more about Mr. Larry Goins and what you got going on.
Sure, absolutely. Well, our website is really simple, larrygoins.com, LarryGoins.com, or they could call toll free 877 Larry Go, 877 Larry Go.
Very nice. I like that, dude. You go, Larry.
That's
Well,
fun.
hey, man, I want to say thank you for being guest on the No Close Show. You gave some great nuggets out there. Love what you're doing, man. It's always great to catch up with you. Big plans for the holidays, or just kind of hanging out there? Are you traveling anywhere or no?
Well, actually, we've got a little place up in the mountains of North Carolina, and we're going to go up there and spend Thanksgiving. And outside of that, man, we're just going to be around, just having fun, taking some time off.
Good stuff, man. Well, hey, you enjoy well-deserved rest. Give a big shout out to Candace for me as well there. All right, bud?
Just that sounds good, man. I sure will. I really appreciate you having me on.
Hey, man, anytime. Glad to catch up with you, and we'll see you around. All right, bud?
Sounds good. Take care, everybody.
Bye. All right, guys, let's go wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closers. Yeah, go check out Larry at LarryGoins.com or 877 Larry Go. I love that customized number out there. Gave some great nuggets out there for those that are looking to dive in, taking some action or some things to help speed up your transactions out there as well. So go out and make something happen, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.